ever since I was little, I customized everything that I own. I don't know, I always had to put a little bit of myself into everything that I had. Started out probably drawing on things and putting stickers on them. And now, 43 years later, I'm still drawing on things, putting stickers on them. But sometimes, when you get something, it's just right and it doesn't need to be changed. Perfect example. You shouldn't just go changing something just to change it. If it looks right, sometimes you just gotta leave it. But I'll also tell you, that's not the case with this Chevy LUV and the lights. This is side markers, both front and rear on this truck. I've been on the fence. Do I shave them off, get rid of them completely? Do I leave them the way they are? Or do I put in something different? I don't hate the rear ones all that much. I mean, they're kind of recessed in there. They look like there was some thought put into them. Those front ones though, they're just like stuck on there. Like they had to do it to get it off the boat, to get it into the US and call it a Chevy. They had to have the side marker up front, so they just screwed one to the fender. I'm making it a little smoother. I'm making it just work a little bit better, putting some curves in it to complement the straight lines. Those lights just aren't working for me. I'm gonna have to do something. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna make some light buckets. I've already made the buckets for the taillights. Been working on them. You've seen a little bit of that. Got one going in there too. But what lights do I use for side markers? How am I making these buckets? I have access to some pretty cool lighting options. One of which is Sound Off Signal's M-Power light. These have a kind of a silicone housing. You can get them in 3-inch, 4-inch long, single color, dual color, even tricolor lights. These can be controlled by just power and ground. You can set a flash pattern on them or set them to steady burn and control them that way. Or you can use a system that they have called Blueprint. That right there may have been a little bit of foreshadowing. But for today, we got some light buckets to build, so let's get to cutting and welding and grinding and having all sorts of fun. First thing I did was I made a little template for the light out of ABS plastic. Exact shape, mounting holes. Now that I have this template, not only will I be able to make the buckets with it, but I can hold it on the truck, see where I actually want to put these lights, because I don't know that yet either. I'm just gonna make the buckets for now, figure it out later. I made a wooden buck, that's what they call it. It is just slightly bigger than that, but it's the same shape, and I'll be able to bend my metal around this, so I end up with the correct shape. Those lights are 7/16 of an inch deep, so I kind of want them to be about flush with my truck, with the body panel. So I'm going to cut a strip of this 18 gauge metal, now about an inch or so wide, and way longer than I need it. Alright, now I got my strip cut here. I got my wooden buck. I'm going to make a mark approximately halfway there. So I'm going to line my center mark with the edge of the metal there. And basically just roll this around a couple times. Make a mark at that center line. So that's approximately how long it's going to need to be, but I'm going to cut it way up there. So this is my straightest edge here. I'm going to make sure that that's the edge that ends up being the bottom of my bucket here. Well, that's the right shape. You can see it overhangs there, so I'm going to trim that off so I can butt weld that together. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to clamp that together, put a couple tacks on that, and I'll start working on the base, on the bottom of it. I got that tacked together. I'm gonna make the base, and I could set this down, trace it, cut it out, and then weld it on, but I'm just gonna set this down, do like 4 tacks on it, and then grind the extra off, and then come through and weld it. You gotta turn the dang thing on. You gotta ground it. got this thing all ready to weld up, solid. And I'm just gonna do a series of tack welds, just like I did when I shaved the fuel filler door and did the rust repair on the window. I'm not gonna get too impatient and just weld it up, just so we don't heat it up too much. So we'll get started with that. One side marker bucket. Let's see if my little template fits. Perfect. One more thing I want to do to this is, like I said before, those lights are 7/16 of an inch thick. So I'm going to take this little piece of paper and mark it 7/16. I could just measure 7/16 all the way around this, draw a line. But now I can take this piece of paper, wrap it around it, make my mark, and I'm actually going to color a bunch in up here. This line is going to be referenced when I put it in the fender, how deep I can go. And another cool thing about doing it with a piece of paper like this is that I have three more of these to make Total of 4. So the next 3, I have my little 7/16 wide piece of paper that I could use. Alright, just like that. Got my mark there. So when I go put this in the fender, I know not to go any deeper than that. And there it is. Now all I gotta do is make 3 more. Alright, well now that I got 4 of those made, I have to figure out where I want to put these. And I'm just not 100% sure. Do I put it in the factory spot or do I put it somewhere else? Cool thing about this template is I could tape this on the truck and I can get an idea of what it'll look like if this was a light. I don't know, guys. I kind of like it down low in the fender like that. Kind of matches where this one is. But then I'd want to move this rear one forward, closer to the fender opening like that. I don't know. You know, sometimes you need to sleep on it. I think I'll sit out here for a while, look at this truck and see if it eventually tells me where it wants these lights. So, to be continued.